General Keane, it's always great to see you. Next Tuesday is going to be 4 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. It seemed then, as you know, that the war would be over in a week. Russia would have its victory parade. 4 years later, what has Russia achieved?
Not very much. Certainly nothing in comparison to what their objectives were. They certainly they were targeting literally on Kyiv and topple that government and put in a stooge government was what their objective. And you're absolutely right. Their generals told them it would just take a few weeks to do that. The Ukrainian people would likely surrender almost when the Russian troops approached positions. And quite the contrary here, the Ukrainians have been absolutely steadfast. Their people have supported them. And here they are, 4 years into this war, and Russia is largely stalemated in terms of its offensive operation. I mean, they have a false narrative that they're overrunning the Ukraine positions. They have 20% of the territory. When they first started the invasion in the first several weeks, they actually had something close to 24, 25. And Ukraine took back some gains that they had made. And by and large, for the remaining years, the only increase in the last 2.5 years by Russia has been a 1% increase in territory. And what is absolutely so frustrating here, we have been in negotiations with the Russians now for a full year with the Trump administration, and Zelensky has made all sorts of concessions. He wanted to go to immediate ceasefire with no conditions, and Russia said no. He's been willing to make compromises on the land, and certainly some compromises even dealing with security guarantees. And Russia, by and large, has not made a single concession that I'm aware of coming from Mr. Putin. His emissaries, in talking to our negotiators, they talk friendly, they talk nice, they make promises, but promises are not kept. And here we are, 13 months of negotiations, and we really don't have anything to show for it.
Donald Trump, he's sending a second aircraft carrier to Iran, the world's biggest, the most advanced aircraft carrier. At the same time, the US and Iranian negotiators, as you know, General, they're in Switzerland right now, supposedly working on an agreement, a sort of peace deal, an agreement on Iran's nuclear weapons program. Here is President Trump about the aircraft carrier.
Second aircraft carrier that you decided to send. Yeah. Talk about why you made that choice.
Well, in case we don't make a deal, we'll need it. If we don't have a deal, we'll need it. If we have a deal, we could cut it short. It'll be leaving.
To me, General, Iran is not going to give up its nuclear weapons. There will not be any real sustainable peace deal. Is the US actually just buying time for all its forces to be in place for a strike?
I do think President Trump, in earnest, is trying to make a nuclear deal. It is a pattern of behavior that he has displayed. He tried to do this prior to the 12-day war. He gave Iran 60 days to make a deal. On the 61st day, Israel attacked Iran, and obviously the United States destroyed their nuclear enterprise as it existed at the time and brought the war to termination. And then in Venezuela, he offered many times, I think 3 or 4, Maduro an exit out of there, an airplane and in immunity from prosecution, a reasonable country of his choice. And he refused all of those overtures. And we saw what happened. We conducted a military operation to indeed capture him and bring him to justice.